and welcome to F YouTube, the segment where we take your consumer complaints to I'm having a baby! Just kidding. Anyway, back in 2016, Michelle sent us an FU about one of those fitness armbands, the Jawbone UP2 tracker. 2016 Zoe, so young, naive and unpregnant. Michelle's Jawbone had a faulty band. The seller Officeworks did the right thing and replaced it, but with a band that had exactly the same major failure. After 8 months, 3 replacement bands and multiple emails from Michelle and us, the manufacturer Jawbone told us that a repair for Michelle's faulty band was available through their customer care partner, Force, and we never received another complaint about Jawbone again. Until very soon after that, when a different Jawbone user, Vanessa, had a completely different problem that was exactly the same.
Unfortunately, the band started tearing away from the clasp and it kept breaking until it was unwearable. I tried to contact the manufacturer and distributor in Australia.
And thus began one of the all-time great correspondences in consumer history. Firstly, Vanessa contacted Force.
The rubber band is peeling away from the metal catch and tearing. Can it be replaced? Sent from my iPhone.
We no longer stock Jawbone. You can contact Jawbone directly. Kind regards, Force.
To support@jawbone.com. The rubber of the band is just seeking a response to my below email.
Replacements are processed by either the original retailer or Force Technology.
I have already contacted Force Technology and they suggested I deal directly with Jawbone.
We haven't heard back from you. If we don't receive a reply in a few days, we'll go ahead and close the case.
I haven't got a way forward yet. Any further assistance on this?
They even ignored her on Valentine's Day.
Still have not received any help with this.
And then finally, Vanessa got a response.
Replacements are processed by either the original retailer or Force Technology.
Wait, this is the identical letter I got a month ago.
This is not helpful. Still no reply. I keep being fobbed off.
We haven't heard back from you. If we don't receive a reply in a few days, we'll go ahead and close the case.
It is not resolved.
Months went by, and summer turned to autumn and then to winter, when suddenly...
We haven't forgotten about you. We've been transitioning to a simpler care experience. We truly appreciate your continued patience.
Since January, I have been trying to contact your support
And
team.
soon, summer was knocking on the door again.
I have now been chasing you on this for most of a year. Please advise urgently what you plan to do.
Sorry to hear you are having trouble. Unfortunately, you reside in a country which does not qualify for warranty support.
This is not satisfactory.
We're so sorry to hear about your poor experience. At this time, we will be closing this inquiry.
Vanessa's correspondence makes for a great costume drama, or just a classic farce. But why didn't she take it back to the seller? The answer is that Vanessa's dodgy Jawbone was a gift. Now, gift recipients can use the consumer guarantees in exactly the same way as gift purchasers. You do need proof of purchase, not necessarily the original receipt, any of these could do. But still, asking a gift giver for proof of purchase because their present was a lemon, that can be awkward.
Dearest Auntie Nora, my deepest gratitude for the Jawbone What's-It. Regrettably, it sucks. I don't suppose you kept the receipt?
Vanessa had every right to go to the manufacturer though. The guarantee of acceptable quality applies to both sellers and manufacturers, and the consumer law says manufacturers must take reasonable steps to make repair facilities and spare parts available. We've got no doubt Jawbone breached your consumer guarantees, Vanessa, and that's despite their earlier assurances to the checkout. This means war, and by war, I mean a strongly worded letter. Dearest Jawbone, remember us? Amazingly enough, they replied. It turns out around the time they were transitioning to a simpler care experience, Jawbone was also transitioning into liquidation. That's not really an excuse for their shabby treatment of Vanessa, but it leads to an interesting point. Remember what we said when retailer Dick Smith went into liquidation?
This is one of those times when contacting the manufacturer about product defects may be a better option.
Oh, 2016, Julian. So young, naive and unpregnant. If the retailer's going out of business, claiming against the manufacturer may be better. If the manufacturer's going down the tubes, the seller is still responsible for their consumer guarantees. In their letter to us, Jawbone sincerely apologises for a lack of communication and frustration and said Vanessa's welcome to reach out to the care team again. But you know what they say, 16 times bitten. It's Lily, who unfortunately experienced the downside of shopping online, courtesy of BecexTech.com.au.
I bought an iPhone 6 through them last year, which never worked.
BecexTech say you can shop with confidence and that their goods are guaranteed to be 100% authentic product in an original retail box unless otherwise stated. And BecexTech does quite a bit of otherwise stating. So instead of a well-priced new iPhone, what Lily got was
Professionally restored and renewed to a new condition using original or generic equivalent parts.
Of course, sellers can't use that sort of sneaky fine print to dodge the consumer guarantees. The guarantee of acceptable quality applies to restored phones just as much as new phones.
I sent it back to them. They sent me a new one. The new one never worked. I said to them, look, I just want my money back. Both phones have had major faults with them, and under Australian consumer law, you need to give me my money back.
Spot on, Lily. A major failure means a reasonable person wouldn't have bought it if they knew of the defect. And if that's the case, the consumer gets to decide between a replacement or a refund from the seller. But BecexTech said that this is only a minor failure, and for a minor failure, it's the seller's choice whether to repair, replace, or give a refund. Worse still,
But this company, BecexTech.com.au, are refusing to follow Australian consumer law.
which seems strange given how Australian they are. I mean, there's the .au web address, the fact that it's called BecexTech Australia, the fact that they're Australian operated with a friendly Australian support team, and that their core mission is to help local Australians. In fact, the only way it could be more Australian is if it was sexted to you by Shane Warne drunk on Vegemite flavoured Forex. But BecexTech told Lily,
This purchase was made with our Hong Kong company, which means governing law should be Hong Kong consumer law.
Lily had no idea she was dealing with an overseas business, but if you're conducting business in Australia, then the Australian consumer law applies. So if you and a seller disagree on that whole major failure, minor failure, tomato, potato thing, even if they're from overseas, you can do what Lily did.
So I took them to court, to the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal, and I won.
Yay! Go Lily! But even though she won the case, BecexTech didn't pay up, which is a good reminder that buying online is often riskier, and if the seller's overseas, it can be hard to enforce your rights. But Lily did manage to get an effective remedy from Apple.
The young man at the store looked at it. I think he took pity on me given how heavily pregnant I was, and he replaced it anyway.
Wait a minute, people give you things because you're pregnant? Why didn't anyone tell me? Julian, can I have a pregnancy raise?
No.
So, a good result for Lily, no thanks to BecexTech. If you want to know more about reducing the risks when you buy online, watch this checkout story. It's available online for free. Good night, I'm having a baby! I love doing that.